Hello and welcome back to the super friendly confines here at Children's Arena in Oshawa, Ontario for continuing coverage, Game 2 of quarterfinal action here in the Arena Lacrosse League. And this one will feature the defending champion, Oshawa Outlaws, taking on the St Catharines Shockwave. And the Shockwave come in as a number 3 seed. These two teams have met twice, with St Catharines winning both meetings, one on February 3rd and the other on March 23rd. So the defending champion Oshawa Outlaws finished with a 5-9 regular season record, come in as the 6th seed. And as we set the stage, the head coaches for the Oshawa Outlaws, Steve McCarthy, Paul Stewart, and Ryan DeJong. For the Shockwave, it's Ron Mouser-Henry, Roger Chrysler, and Clancy Ames. Starting goaltenders for today for the Shockwave, it'll be Grant Crowley. Comes in with an impressive 4-1 record and a 12.55 goals against. At the other end for the Outlaws, it'll be Ryan Shetkowski, and he has been a mainstay in that lineup. Officials for today's game, Kyle Coulter and Mike Sullivan, will be joined by crew chief John Sutcliffe. So set to go as we witnessed a thriller in our first game with the Whitby Steelhawks advancing to next week's semifinal and earning the first or second ticket to that bracket. And off the opening faceoff, Oshawa had possession, and now it's Dylan LaPrade and the Shockwave that go to work on offense. Brian Neufeld, team leader with 63 points, averaging 6.3 points a game, looking for a trailer coming in. As Torrey Van Every was late on the play, ball loose in the corner, shot clock winding down, Outlaws come away with it. So Children's Arena, the home arena for these Outlaws, as they had a stellar season last year in winning the inaugural All Cup. John St. John on the run, had that sidearm go off the Crowley shoulder, and it will stay here with a full clock for the Outlaws. Josh Gilray, of course, one of the mainstays on offense for these Outlaws. That loose, scooped up, and a good job by Dustin Gatt to get it ahead. Torrey Van Every that was Justin Peichel, as coming on now is Torrey Van Every, and just wide. And Oshawa now will bring it back the other way. Keep an eye, Big Mike Triolo, the captain, one of the leading scorers on this team as well, with 56 points in the regular season. 10 on the shot clock as Dylan Goddard can't get it done, and back come the Shockwave. Good speed in Brandon Slade, a transition specialist. He dumps it off to Van Every. Van Every will kick it back out. Slade. Good check. Excellent defense by the Outlaws. 2-on-1 break, and first goal of the game comes courtesy Gage Board in transition. Get used to Cam Seneca and Paul Jelly in the circle, as they will do battle throughout this game. Procedure called on Seneca, and it's Outlaws ball. Jelly will scoop it and retreat, and the offense will go to work in Gilray. Down the Triolo, switch hands, good hook, looking far side, stopped by Crowley. Triolo recovers, good stick check, scoops that up. Swim moves his way out of trouble, draws a double team again. They knock the big man down and forced a turnover with numbers. 2-on-1 now to the trailer, and good transition defense by the Outlaws. Again, that shot stopped by Shetkowski. Going back the other way are the Outlaws. Zach Tompkinson, bounce shot, goes off the rafters, and it'll be St. Catharines ball the other way. 12-minute mark here, opening quarter, no score, 1-0 to score in favor of the Outlaws. Skip pass looking for Anthony Patterson on the cut. Corrals the rebound off the boards. Curls around, looking for an opening, dumps it off. Josh Becker can't corral it. Neufeld looking for an opening. Tough shot from a sharp angle was Caleb Wiles. And that's crease ball, and it will be Oshawa that go the other way as Patterson decided to express his frustration on the way to the bench, and Oshawa now will lug it over the timeline. John St. John will kick it back to the top, and they'll swing it around to Triolo on the right side. St. John, big overhand blocked. Going the other way in transition on the move. And no substitute for speed, as off the crossbar was Chris Van Oudegen. And that's going to remain Shockwave ball as that rebound caromed off the rafters. Van Every working it to Becker. Van Every, good roll. Runs into traffic, keeps the stick moving, gets out of it, peels his way, and turns it over. And Seneca, the last man to beat, and rolling that one well wide was Connor Laird. And it'll come back the other way in Becker. To Van Every. Van Every working on that left side, dump off the backhand, looking inside, and a beauty goal. So a sweet finish for Josh Becker. Good to go again here in a tie game at the 10:30 mark, and off the draw it'll be the Outlaws that gain possession, and they'll work it over and get the offense out there and go to work. Gilray, cross-court pass, gets it back on the right side. Looking for the screen from Triolo. Kicks it out, dumps it Triolo, flip the backhand wide. Not sure why the reset didn't touch anything. Hustling for that ball. And scooping that up. And a big save by Shakowski. And the Shockwave now will get it back. Slade with a shot off the post. And that will stay here. Shockwave ball. And don't expect St. Catharines to pull up. They've got good transition players that will take it right to the net with no hesitation. Neufeld working one-on-one, gets a screen. Skip pass across. Patterson finding the far corner. And it's 2-1 for the Shockwave. In the circle one more time. This time a clean win for Oshawa, but not able to get the loose ball, so Dustin Gatt pounces on it, and it'll be Neufeld to set things up. Waiting for all the numbers as the shot clock now down to 15. Neufeld skips it across. Patterson one-on-one, takes the top corner. So Anthony Patterson taking matters into his own hands. So Patterson wrapped up the regular season with 62 points, one behind his teammate Brian Neufeld. And sure enough, they're off to a good start here as the Shockwave take a 3-1 lead. Around the horn with possession, Cutter not able to come away with that was Kyle Pedwell, and now the Outlaws will bring it back. Had a notion, did Goddard. Dylan Goddard, of course, one of the offensive anchors to this Oshawa team. St. John harassed. Triolo underhand finds the mark. Reset. They'll get a fresh 30 to work with. 8:20 to go here, opening quarter. Gilray will set things up. St. John's comes around the screen, takes a hard hit, backhand. Shoot it down low, quick stick attempt. As Crowley will corral it and send the outlet pass to Seneca. Can't hold it, and the ball remains loose. Oshawa jump all over it in Mark DeBrone. His flip, though, is tough to handle. St. John recovers, takes a couple hard hits, and a stick check. Still has it. Rolling in that corner, double team. Gets some help, though, from Nick Andrioli. And a turnover, it'll be Shockwave ball. And they'll hustle it over the timeline and look for transition. Neufeld with Caleb Wilds working on the left side. One-on-one Wilds. Tries the underneath move. Comes back, ducks into a hit. Good defense, stays with him. Skip pass. Patterson. Patterson had an open. Quick shot. Anthony Patterson on fire. Completes the hat trick here in the first. Outlaws with the first goal of the game, and since then the Shockwave have reeled off 4 straight, including 3 straight from Anthony Patterson for the natural hat trick. And the Shockwave now will go back to work. Dustin Gatt. Gatt shoots it over to Corey Becker. Becker thought twice and hit the trailer coming out. Pedwell. On the run, bounce shot, stopped by Shkowski, and rebound corralled by Brandon Slade. Slade to Patterson. Patterson again with the underneath roll. Again, he goes hard to the net. He's stopped, and that rebound will go into the Oshawa bench, and we will have our officials timeout. Back underway here as the Shockwave go to work on offense. One-on-one, Josh Becker loses that on the flip cam. Seneca trying to avoid the timeline. Just clipped the heel, and that'll be a turnover to Oshawa. 6:20 mark here in the first quarter. One-on-one, Daryl Robertson thought better of it. Swing it over, and he'll come back up and get it at the top. Working the right side, back down to the crease and up to the shooter. 10 on the shot clock. Gilray looking across and diving through, but Crowley all over that. Makes the save, and it'll go back the other way. Shockwave will flip. Slade. Flip it back to Wiles, and they will set things up. Patterson, the late man, coming in off the back door. Slade didn't have much angle. That 5-hole closed by Shkowski, and it'll go back the other way. With numbers here, down to Triolo. Triolo fakes, curls in, draws a double team, pulls it out. Working one-on-one. Some help coming as Justin Peichel was all over him. They forced the turnover. St. John's going to have to recover. He does. 5 on the shot clock. St. John backhand pass goes awry, and the Shockwave now will lug it back out. 5 minutes to go here, opening quarter. Van Oudegen, flip and retreat. Neufeld. We'll dump it back out. Wiles, big shot! Off the shoulder pad and in. So the Shockwave have everything going right now as Wiles adds to the total. So head coach Steve McCarthy, along with his assistants, including Graham Bergsma, who is one of the veterans out of the Oshawa lineup, a draw man supreme with an ACL injury. They're hoping to get him back if they can advance to the semis and the final. But right now they got to do without him as Oshawa trailing 5-1 here. They go to work on the left side, skip pass. Going to need something from Triolo, and they get it. So the big man, Mike Triolo, on the board. 4:23 to go here in the opening quarter off the draw. Shockwave get possession, and it's Corey Becker. He'll wait at the half boards and dump it off to Van Every. Torrey Van Every. He'll find Neufeld. They'll keep the two-man game working on the left side. Flip back to Van Every. Had a handle momentarily. Does get it back. Takes a high stick. Does a whole full swim move. Takes another high stick. Shot clock down to 2. And it'll be Oshawa ball. So doing a good job of harassing down there was Connor Laird. had his hand full with Torrey Van Every, won that possession. But again, good team defense by the Shockwave, forced a turnover. So Dylan LaPrade doing a good job along with Josh Harris. And it's Caleb Wiles. He'll lean in. Tried to jumper over top. Stopped by Shitkowski. Patterson digging in the corner. But it's the Outlaws that come away with it. Two-man game, and Wiles tried the inside out, wrong stick side. Stopped by Shitkowski. A lot of stick work going on in that corner. Could have possibly been a slashing call somewhere down the line, as not even seeing the defender coming out of the box was Colin Maudsley. And now Brandon Slade will hold off, give to Neufeld, and he'll remain on to play some offense. Neufeld looking for a screen, roll, and a good dump to Slade. Took a couple of whacks and a tricky shot tried by Van Every. His shot was wide, and the Outlaws will bring it back with 2:30 to go in the opening quarter. Triolo scoots to the middle and dumps it down to the left side. Brought back over. Cam Mancini looking for an opening on the run. His shot stopped easily by Crowley, and the Shockwave now will bring it back. Josh Becker, one-on-one, gonna need some help. Good dump off, good two-man game, and a sweet finish as Kyle Pedwell stepped into the open spot and capitalized. And so Outlaws head coach Steve McCarthy's got some work to do with his troops here with 1:50 to go in the quarter. And the Shockwave have been dominant here in the opening 15. Working on that side as they will, no delayed penalty. Neufeld had a notion and an underhand. Big shot, but wide from Jordan Houtby. And it'll be possession to the Outlaws. And not quite sure about that brain cramp from Jordan Houtby. You touch it with your hand, automatic penalty. So John St. John will quarterback. And he's got Goddard out there as he big overhand off the post. And it remains in play, will be a fresh 30. So a good overhand from St. John, not able to beat the iron. And they'll go back to work on the left side. Triolo and Gilray on the right. Gilray pops up, gets it back, dumps it over. Looking Triolo. Triolo kick it to the top. And that bounce shot steered aside by Crowley. And with 54 seconds left in the quarter and 1:29 in the penalty, it's possession Outlaws. They go back to work. Dylan Goddard at the top this time as St. John does a good job of holding on to it. Goddard looking at an opening, dumps it to Triolo, who left it, then scooped the rebound, almost fished it out and scored. And Brandon Slade will take advantage, take it strong to the net. Two fakes, big toe save, rebound. Great job by Shitkowski to keep that out. 25 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. And a timeout called on the play will nullify the power play, and the teams will play 5-on-4. Not sure with the net empty. I see that we're a bit of a man advantage as the clock now will go down to 10 seconds. 8-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Good defense by the Outlaws as pinned in the corner, and it's going to draw another Outlaws penalty on the hold. So Connor Laird is guilty of the hold, and he's going to spend 2 minutes in the box. So a busy penalty box, but with 0.2 seconds left, just going to be a shot, and you saw Josh Becker let it go, but we've played 15 minutes, It's the Shockwave 6 and the Outlaws 2. All set to go here for the second quarter. Shockwave with a 4-goal lead, and Shockwave will be short for another 30 seconds. Oshawa, of course, with 2 men in the box and double teamed and roughed up, and they're going to call an interference on the play. Dylan LaPrade a little bit too aggressive on Ryan Nolan, and that's going to cost him a possession. Quick skip pass, as you can see, looks rather empty out there on the floor, working 4-on-3 for another 10 seconds. And look for the big man Triolo to lug some time here with 12 on the shot clock. Loses it, and here come the Shockwave the other way. Peichel will dump it off, and they'll be deliberate as the Shockwave penalty over. They'll now go on a 2-man advantage for 45 seconds. And they'll set things up and get all their troops looking for Patterson down low. 8 on the shot clock, and all of a sudden with no one out there, the Shockwave passing seems to be a bit off. That shot stopped by Shikowski. Another shot wide of the net. No reset. Some great work on the boards there from Ryan McCrory, and taking it strong. And a shot, but stopped. So Crowley, from point-blank range, denies Zach Tompkinson, and it'll come back the other way with just 5 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. Around the horn it goes. That's a big shot from Josh Becker, his second of the game. Paul Jelly and Dustin Gatt, 7-2 lead in favor of the Shockwave. And Oshawa now will get possession and set things up. Steph Carbonneau looking for an opening, dumps it out to the trailer in St. John. He rolls back, looks to dump it down low to Triolo. Triolo had a man draped all over him, does manage to recover the rebound. Triolo, skip pass cross, good swim move from Colin Maudsley, went nowhere though, and shot clock's going to wind down with a second left. Shot on, Crowley can't smother it, but the Shockwave will come away with it and haul it over the timeline. LaPrade will dump it off, and he'll retreat to the bench. Patterson on fire in the opening quarter, again runs into his own man. Ball remains loose, close to the timeline. A good job there over the timeline call before the hit. Kyle Pedwell in the middle of everything, as Oshawa now will work possession. Wilds got away with a high stick. Trailer coming on, in, out, up, down. Robbed though by Crowley, and it'll come up the other way. Van Oudegen to the trailing banner, and a beautiful pass play capped off by a finish from Alec Pace, and the Shockwave roll on. They now lead this one 8-2. Outstanding transition lacrosse from the Shockwave. We're at the 12-minute mark here of the second quarter. Semifinal number 2 of 3 today. The Whitby Steelhawks already punched their tickets to next week's Final Four at the track in Oakville, Ontario. And these two teams trying to do the same. 2 teams, 1 invite. And a beautiful wraparound goal. An outstanding finish from Josh Gilray. Another outstanding crowd on hand here at Children's Arena for Arena Lacrosse League playoff action. Quarterfinal, triple header, scooped up. Dylan LaPrade, wrong stick side, dumps it off. A good job of getting out of that was Pace. And that quick shot goes wide, and not able to keep it was Houtby. And now it's going to be Triolo playing it where he lies, and they're going to call him back just a bit as. So it looks like there's going to be coincidental penalties on the play, or we'll have to see what crew chief John Sutcliffe has called. It looks like Triolo's certainly going to go. And despite a lot of spirited discussion, I don't think John Sutcliffe's going to change his call, and he's not. So coincidental minors will go up on the board. It'll be possession Outlaws, and they'll go to work. Teams 5 aside. St. John rolls off the double team, flips it back. Goddard definitely needs something from him today if these Outlaws are going to stay in this game. Quick shot, blocked by a stick, rebound, scooped up, no angle, no reset on the clock. 5 to shoot. Good defense by Dustin Gatt, and had a notion for that underhand, but Gilray just couldn't pull the trigger, and the Shockwave now will bring it back. And taking a tumble, blowing a tire, and capitalizing was Bryce Brochu. So Jelly and Seneca in the circle, and rule number 1 when you're playing on carpet going backwards, best to pick your feet up or you will end up falling. And a whole host on that Shockwave bench in the square as Patterson goes to work one-on-one. Big save from Shikowski. Patterson continues to go to the net and makes contact with the goalie. So Ryan Shikowski appears to be okay after that collision with Anthony Patterson, who will sit for 2 to think about what he did, and the Outlaws will go back to work on a power play. St. John at the top. He'll quarterback. Backhand, left shooter, kick back to the top. Round the horn. Skip pass. Right side. Bullet shot stopped by Crowley. So it'll be a fresh 30 for the Outlaws with 1:38 to go in the penalty. So Crowley shook out the cobwebs, and the Outlaws now will work the 2-man game behind the net. Kick it back out to the top in St. John. St. John, right shooter, back to St. John. Underhand, finds the mark. So John St. John on the board with his first of the game. And we've got ourselves a 9-4 game. So John St. John's first goal of the game is a power play marker. And the Outlaws off the draw get possession. Teams are at full strength. 5 aside, actually, not full strength, as that skip pass goes across. Drawing the double team, but shrugging them all off was Connor Laird. And now they go to work on the right side. Kick back out, 10 on the shot clock. Around the horn, working the left side now. That big sidearm caught Crowley off guard as Dylan Goddard, he's on the board for the first time, and it's 9-5. So Dylan Goddard from Cam Mancini and Josh Gilray, and off the draw again. This time it's Shikowski way out of his crease. Takes a hit, turns it over. Dylan LaPrade will take it hard, and big save. Closing the 5-hole. And Shikowski will get it ahead. They'll lug it over the timeline, and Oshawa now go to work on a delayed penalty. So momentum swinging here just a bit in favor of the Outlaws as the net is empty for this delayed penalty. They got the extra attacker on, and they put the big man Triolo in the middle. Fishes out, working around the horn. 5 on the shot clock. Skip pass down low, no look, down low, quick stick. Nothing doing, back out, shot through a crowd. Stopped, reset, and they'll get a fresh 30. Delayed penalty still on the go. 8:20 to go here in the second quarter. Around the horn, St. John. No look pass, and the Outlaws will go back to work on the power play. Josh Harris, the lumberjack in charge, 2 minutes for slashing. And the Outlaws now with a chance to close the gap, trailing by 4. St. John, a casual, careless pass, but a great job there from Goddard to regain possession, and they'll set it back up again. Triolo overhand, wide of the mark. Got to keep it over the timeline. They can't. Play it where they lie. It'll be Shockwave ball. Minute 35 to go in the penalty. Brian Neufeld is going to take it. He's going to dump it back to the trailer. Wrong stick side. Patterson stopped by Shikowski. Becker in there working on the loose ball, but it's picked up neatly by Pedwell. And he'll work some clock here as the Shockwave will dump it down for a post-up. Patterson, quick shot. Good save from Shikowski, and believe that's going to be a whistle call, and it's going to be the officials' timeout. Back to action here at the 7:24 mark of the second quarter. Oshawa with just over a minute to go here in this power play, trailing by 4. Triolo at the top, dumps to St. John. Had a notion, gapped it, come around the top. Good hard shot, steered aside by Crowley. Fresh 30 now with 50 seconds to go in the penalty. St. John. Dump it off, and that sidearm goes off a defender and off the rafters. So it'll stay here. Oshawa possession with 44 seconds left in the penalty. St. John. Dump down low. Gilray. Triolo with all day. Overhand stopped, but they managed to corral the rebound, and Cam Mancini doing a lot of the yeoman work. Kick it back out for a reset. 20 seconds to go. St. John, Triolo, two-man game, blocked. Knuckleball. Crowley just got a glove on it, and it went out of play. It will remain here with 15 seconds to go. St. John, Triolo, back to St. John. Triolo looking for an opening, inching in. Gilray underhand. 5-hole is closed. Crowley, outlet. Slade on the transition. Good fake in out, and thought better of it. He'll pull it out. Still being harassed, but they settle in. Good job by Caleb Wiles, and a beautiful finish, but no called crease on the play, and the Outlaws will bring it back. So dodging a bullet there was Oshawa. Triolo one-on-one. Takes the slash, but can't get away from Justin Peichel. Little bit of jersey grabbing. Again, Peichel on the big man. A good matchup there, as a little bit of extra, as a little bit more extracurricular activity is going to add to the parade to the penalty box. So Neufeld will kickstart the offense. Teams 5 aside. Anthony Patterson been quiet since the first when he had his hat trick, a natural hat trick, and this time he goes to work. Good dump off Becker. Find Patterson, back to Becker, big sidearm, steered aside, and that is definitely going to be at the very least a 2-minute, and Patterson taking exception as Daryl Robertson came in and said a few words. So it is a 2-minute penalty, not a 4. And the Outlaws trailing by 4, need a little something here with 5:05 to go in the second quarter. Around the horn, everyone gets a touch. St. John at the top. Triolo sets a screen. They gap the box, kick it back to the right side. Trailer, that shot well wide. And the rebound is knocked away, and a good job from Bryce Brochu. And quickly, no reset, goes up, and a reset there will give Oshawa another chance. They'll reset. Minute 25 to go in the penalty. St. John underhand on the mark, but stopped by Crowley. Crowley kicks it out to Slade. Slade's going to put on the Jets and get it over the timeline. He dumps it off to Neufeld. Neufeld's going to spread the floor and dump it back to Slade. Slade's going to run around and be elusive as he shoots that over back to Neufeld. Neufeld looking for some help, working by the timeline. Dips by the board, switch hands, and he'll continue through. In the corner. 3 on the shot clock. He's going to dump that and retreat. A good job by the Shockwave with 48 seconds to go in the penalty. Oshawa will bring it back. 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Sizing that up, Crowley with the angle covered. They'll wait. St. John will get it back to Triolo. Back to the top. St. John on the interchange. Dump it over. Triolo, big overhand. Stop. Crowley couldn't find it in his pad. They scoop it out, and he will headman it up. A beautiful lob pass from Crowley. They hit the trailer off the bench in Becker. And a good stop by Shitkowski. So good defensive possession for the Outlaws, even though they couldn't come away with the loose ball. And the Shockwave now will have killed off that minor penalty. So all even now, 4-on-4. Caleb Wiles tries to go over the top, couldn't do it. Shitkowski read that like a book, couldn't get the rebound. Loose again. Shockwave come away with it in Wiles. Reset. Alec Pace remains on. Patterson, rocket. And no goal called. Batted in on the play. And Caleb Wiles mixing it up. Expect DeBrone, no stranger to the penalty box himself, to make his way. So it looks like it's going to be Wiles that's going to get the instigator side of things with 2:54 to go. It's Josh Gilray that will spend some time in the box along with Caleb Wiles on coincidental roughing minors with 2:50 to go here in the second. Outlaws with possession. Still trailing by 4 as they work it to the top in Triolo. Triolo, one-on-one with Peichel all over him. Justin Gatt does a good job defensively and moves it up. In transition, Houtby looking for the trailer. Becker, underhand, stopped. Again, back to Becker, and he will reset with 2:20 to go. Neufeld working at top. They'll wait for all the offensive troops to come. Patterson, Dipsy Doodle, tried a quick underhand. It went wide. Almost got it back again. Torrey Van Every out there looking for that loose ball. They scoop it up. 5 on the shot clock. Becker fighting for it. Got away with a slash or two, and the Outlaws now will get it. St. John. Quick pass. Triolo. Quick shot. Bullet in the net. Mike Triolo with the finish, his second of the game. Minute 49 left in the opening half. And a very field lacrosse-like draw there. The Outlaws come away with it, and they will go back to work. Feeling a bit of the momentum here. Good defense by the Shockwave as Corey Becker does a good job. They try to flip the Triolo. It's picked off. Shockwave now move it back, but good transition defense from the Outlaws. No numbers. LaPrade will come in and set a screen. They'll work it back to the top. Pace. He'll dump it off and he'll retreat. And it'll be Van Every. Van Every to Becker. Becker dumps it off. That quick shot attempt from Van Every goes off the glass, and we are with 50 seconds to go here in the first half. Trailer coming out. St. John's backhand try. Stopped. Neufeld corrals the rebound. He's jumped, but it flips it off, and the Shockwave come with numbers. 3-on-2 to the trailer. Back, crease, cross, all day, up, down, and in. Brian Neufeld on the scoreboard with his first of the game, and it's 10-6 for the Shockwave. Ryan Chakowski at the mercy of Brian Neufeld there, and off the draw, a timeout's called by the Outlaws. Set to go here with 28.3 seconds to go in the second quarter. Outlaws are going to hold it. Shot clock is off. They're going to hold it for the final possession here with hopes of closing the gap. Trailing by 4, 10-6. And they'd sure like one before they head into the locker room. And there's a water bottle on the carpet, as no matter, they're going to go to work with 5 on the shot clock. 5 on the game clock. Flip pass goes awry, and that's going to do it. So after the opening 30, it's the St Catharines Shockwave 10 and the Oshawa Outlaws 6. So we're all set to go here for the third quarter. And the Oshawa Outlaws certainly took their time coming out here. Shockwave wanted a delay of game call. But it's playoffs, so let's play. 10-6 game here as Triolo will start the offense off on the right side. Dump back off, St. John. Took a check, popped out. Triolo will take him one-on-one. Use his size advantage on the run. Shot. Good shoulder save by Crowley, and it'll come back the other way in the Shockwave. Brandon Slade. Slade will put on the brakes, retreat, dump it off to Neufeld, and Neufeld will go to work here on the left side. Looking for a screen on the dump, and that was touched. So it'll stay here with the Shockwave, and on that side, Patterson tried to sneak a sidearm by. That'll be a violation, and it will be Oshawa ball all the way down on the other in the corner in the offensive end. Just underway here in the third. Outlaws trailing by 4. Defending champs looking to earn a ticket back to the Final Four. They're going to have to go through this tough Shockwave team to do it. Dustin Gatt will move it ahead with numbers. Van Oudegen will pull it out. And looking to dump that low to Cam Seneca. But it was a bad pass and corralled by the Outlaws, and they will get it over the timeline. Dale Robertson getting harassed, and he'll do the flip back. Was looking for Triolo. Ball remains loose, and it's picked up in the Shockwave now. Will bring it back. No numbers, but a good quick move. So Corey Becker, a good decision, and it'll be Neufeld, who doesn't have it, and the hidden ball trick almost worked there as Torrey Van Every got the shot off, but it was a weak one. Cutter off the post. So Brandon Slade, a good job of finding the opening. Couldn't tuck it between the two pipes, and it'll be a fresh 30 for St. Catharines. Pedwell. Down low, and Van Every all day. So Torrey Van Every with his first of the game. In the circle one more time. Seneca and Jelly. And despite the battle, it's Dylan LaPrade that comes out of the scrum. And the Shockwave now will set it up for another offensive possession. Josh Harris did a good job to get on that loose ball. Flip back up. Becker waits for Van Every, who comes in late. Good spin move. Bounce shot stopped. Becker tried to get it behind the net, but Shikowski able to corral it. Makes a bad pass, but a good recovery, and it's moved up ahead to Triolo. Triolo to Gilray. Gilray will send it across. Moving screen's going to be an illegal one by St. John. And it's scooped up and moved up. And in all alone, going down low, was Alec Tomas. And he couldn't beat Chakowski. And it's still 11-6 with 11:30 to go here in the third. This, of course, our second quarterfinal. The winner will advance to next week's Final Four at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Loser will pack it in for the season and get prepped for the summer season, as that'll go off the rafters, and it's St. Catharines' possession. Neufeld will dump it down low. Wilds looking at open, tried a quick shot. Bounce wide and in transition. Numbers for the Outlaws. Good speed right up the middle. Trying to go 5-hole was Ryan McCrory, but Crowley closed the door. Brandon Slade the other way. He goes 5-hole. So Brandon Slade does what Ryan McCrory couldn't do. And in transition, Slade gives his team a 12-6 lead. Clean win off the draw for the Outlaws. They get a hold of that, and a good job there to shrug off a couple defenders was Laird. And I tell you, these Outlaws could use a little something here, preferably from the big man or anybody else, as they need something. St. John's come trailing in late. And the Shockwave now firing on all cylinders, moving it up, hitting the trailer. LaPrade, bounce shot off the post. So it will stay here, Shockwave possession. Ball loose, fished out. And here come the Outlaws, looking for something, anything. Robertson, good hard hit. And good defensive play by the Shockwave, and that's what good hard cross check will do. Transition, tried the inside out, did Corey Becker, and it's a turnover, and the Outlaws now bring it back. 9:50 to go in the third. Shockwave with a 6-goal lead. St. John going to have to be a little more aggressive on offense. They need him to shoot more. He's obviously a facilitator by nature, as it's loose and kicked ahead. And Shikowski will uncork one, and it'll be a shot clock violation and possession to the Shockwave. Becker, one-on-one, got a screen on the roll. Van Every took a hard hit. Seneca had it for a moment. Loose. Scooped up by Becker. Ricochets off the boards, rolls, backhand, dumps it down low. Van Every in the crease, and it's going to be Oshawa ball. Gage Board been awfully quiet right off the logo, and it'll come back the other way. LaPrade trying to get a handle on it. Does. Wrong stick side. Think better of it. And he'll dump it off. Van Every. One-on-one with St. John. St. John gets a quick backhand try. And it was a good one. Shikowski had to make a good save on that. And Patterson with some good defense as he finishes his check on Tompkinson, who manages to get it up to Triolo. Triolo shrugs off a defender. One-on-one. Dumps it off to a trailer. Dylan Goddard couldn't get it done. Dustin Gatt, head man to Slade. Slade, big save by Shikowski. Slade gets the rebound. Good move. Comes back low, goes down again. Another good pad save. And Slade took exception. Oshawa now bring it back 2-on-2. And they'll pull it out. St. John dumps it down to the left crease. Goddard. Goddard with 1 goal today. He's been awfully quiet. They need something from him, along with Gilray. Good defense and that underhand stopped by Crowley. Scooped up. Outlaws will get a fresh clock. 7:25 to go here in the third. Gilray looking for an open. Ball's loose. No one sees it. Plenty of time on the shot clock, down to 15. Gilray, a lot going on in that slot area. Gets it back, overhand is partially blocked. So an outstanding job by Jordan Houtby on defense, and we will have our officials timeout. So underway here as Josh Becker will leg it up and bring it up. Neufeld will swing it to the top, and Seneca move it over to the right side. Patterson taking it hard, stopped by Shikowski. And Oshawa will come away with it. They move it on up. Ryan Nolan, 2-on-1. Nolan shot well wide and off the back wall. It'll be possession to the Shockwave. The other Becker doing a good job of getting it over the timeline. Wiles now, the pass down into Patterson. Patterson, good defense, and a little bit too over-exuberant was Zach Tompkinson. And I'm not sure if they're both going to go. So possession to the Shockwave. It's going to be coincidental roughing minors with Patterson and Tompkinson, and Ron Mouser Henry simply irate that Patterson got called on the play as well. And that's a good example of there's two sides to every story. Triolo looking for that far corner. Toe saved by Crowley. And ball loose and remains loose. Shockwave have it now, and Dustin Gatt does a good job to flip it ahead. Slade. They don't have numbers, so he'll think better of it, pull it out. Justin Peichel got hit unexpectedly, took exception to it, but good discipline. That one goes off the stick of Seneca, and in transition, in all alone, top corner, Ryan Nolan. A much-needed goal for the Outlaws. .5:34 to go here in the third. Off the draw, Outlaws scoop it up. And running into too much traffic was Jelly. And Shockwave strip them, and they now will go to work on offense. Neufeld. Dump it off, Wilds. An ill-advised shot wide of the mark will return the possession back to Oshawa. Robertson, one-on-one. Dumps it off to St. John. Had a notion to get it to the trailer. Looked for a screen, dumped it back down to the left crease. Quick shot. Good save by Crowley on Maudsley. And back come the Shockwave, Brandon Slade. Slade, one-on-one, good hesitation move, tiptoe around the crease, and he'll pull it back out. Plenty of time on the shot clock, lobs it to Neufeld. Back to Slade. Slade will curl around the screen, getting mobbed, a little bit of embellishing, tried to poke it in the far corner, backhand, quick try, wide of the mark, and Oshawa now will corral it cleanly and move it up with numbers. In transition, wide open in the corner, Ryan McCrory. And blink of an eye, the Outlaws back in this game now, trailing 12-8. So the roller coaster ride continues. This is certainly a game of momentum as the Outlaws have battled back here to trim it to 4, and they go back to work. Triolo trying to put it through two defenders and screen Crowley, and the Shockwave now will bring it back over the timeline and set things up. Brochu, drop and retreat. Wiles. Wiles waiting for a screen. Van Every taking up some space. Wiles will curl out into the corner. Dump it to Van Every. Quick shot right on. Stopped. And Torrey Van Every got away with a bit of a punch there, and it'll come back the other way, Oshawa possession. 3:15 to go here in the third quarter. Triolo. Give and go. Good spin move, nothing doing on a good defensive rotation. crease called on the play as Mancini was not able to elude the line, and now the Shockwave will bring it back at the 3-minute mark here in the third. Neufeld. Over to Wiles. Wiles will swing it around to Patterson. Patterson quiet since those 3 in the first quarter. Dumps it down low. Seneca, a great job just to get a handle on the pass, but couldn't keep his feet out of the crease, and Oshawa now will bring it back. All day to shoot that, and wind up was Robertson. Couldn't find any part of the net, and LePrade now weaving through traffic, draws a crowd, and he'll use his speed and find his way out before getting stick checked. Good hustle from Mark DeBrone as that battle continues, and it's Pedwell looking across to Becker, stopped though by Shitkowski. And with just over 2 minutes to go, Oshawa still in this game. Triolo, big overhand. That goes off the rafters, but off Crowley first. And we'll stay here, fresh 30 for the Outlaws. St. John swinging around, working on the left side. Room, overhand, steered aside by Crowley, and it'll be St. John with another fresh clock for the Outlaws. He'll dump it off and get to his stick side. Big skip pass looking for Triolo. That goes awry, and all alone is Brochu, and big shoulder save from Shitkowski, and Brochu comes up a bit lame on the play. Not sure if he may have pulled something or tweaked something. He's off, and the Shockwave now will go back to work on offense with 1:15 to go. Neufeld and Van Every working the two-man game. Not sure it's a glove that's laying. Neufeld coughs it up. Was looking for Patterson. Outlaws come back the other way, hit the trailer. Big shot off the post and will stay here. So Dylan Goddard trying to add to his goal tally. He's got one. Wasn't able to tuck it inside the crossbar, and we're under a minute here in the third. That pass goes awry, scooped up by Crowley with 45 seconds to go. He'll dump it down, and Seneca, great hands to hold on to that, and he'll get it back to the top. They'll work some clock. 35 seconds to go. Wiles, dipsy doodling through, looking for an opening, dumps it off. Big overhand shot, stopped there by Shitkowski, and it'll go back the other way with 23 seconds to go. Shot clock off. Outlaws now looking to try to close that gap. It's been 4 for a while. Triolo. 10 seconds to go. St. John. Net empty for the extra attacker. Trailer comes on. Big overhand. Wide of the mark. And it's going to go down to the other end. And that's going to do it. So after 3 quarters, it's the St. Catharines Shockwave 12 and the Oshawa Outlaws 8. So final 15 minutes for the Oshawa Outlaws to make up a 4-goal deficit here if they want a chance to defend their All-Cup championship. If not, it'll be a new champ crowned next weekend at the track in Oakville. But no sense getting ahead of ourselves. Plenty of work to do, plenty of game to be played here in the fourth, as we're just underway with Oshawa having possession. Goddard to Triolo. Triolo, big overhand, stopped by Crowley. Ball loose. Outlaws again, can't come up with it. Scooped up neatly is Slade. Slade fakes the flip, goes hard. Big save by Shitkowski. Race for that loose ball again. Another battle ensues. Outlaws. And it looks like it's going to be an Oshawa penalty called on the play. Dylan Goddard, the guilty party, 2 minutes for slashing. And tough to make up 4 goals when one of your top goal scorers is in the box. So play it where you lie. Oshawa comes away with it. Big shot, bounce shot, stop. Good attempt by McCrory. Ball loose and an excellent effort in a crowd is McCrory. Comes away with it. Great job legging some time. Shedding off defenders. He kicks it back out to Tompkinson and gets a big round of applause. Good effort. 10 on the shot clock as this would be a big kill here for the Outlaws. And Andrioli ran into a wall, and it's now Shockwave ball. So they'll be very deliberate here and set things up, and it'll be Anthony Patterson that'll settle things down before giving it off to Becker, and that one almost ricocheted in, but there's Cam Seneca. Cam on the spot, right on the doorstep. He parks his first of the game, and it's 13-8. So what proves to be another costly penalty for the Outlaws as the Shockwave take advantage. They move it up now quick and trying to go 5-hole and sneak one through was Josh Harris, but Szytkowski not having any of it. Bad pass, easy turnover. And Hotby will pull it out and wait for some help. Seneca, dump it down low to Neufeld. Neufeld tried that pass down low. Seneca managed to corral it, gives it off to Van Every, dumps it down low, and snuck that in was Wiles. Got to keep an eye on him. He's tricky. So just when you thought the Outlaw were going to gain some ground, the Shockwave pick it up a notch and respond with a couple and restore their lead. Now 14-8, largest lead of the game, 6. That shot from Robertson wide of the mark. No reset, 10 on the clock, taking it hard to the net, but stopped was Mancini. Or sorry, that could have been Jake Strausser, and it was, and there'll be a penalty called on the play. So Dustin Gatt, the guilty party, cross-check to the back. And a much-needed one here as Triolo steps into the gap. St. John, underhand wide, and didn't touch anything, so that's going to be a violation. And I'm sure head coach Steve McCarthy would like to see a little more ball movement on the power play before you get that shot, and looks like there's going to be another penalty called on the play. So the Outlaws this time get saddled with a penalty. I will get you the guilty party as Patterson goes hard, tried to bounce it 5-hole, didn't have it, and the Outlaws continuing to shoot themselves in the foot. Had a power play and a chance to cut that deficit, and instead take an undisciplined penalty in a trip. And now it's teams playing 4-on-4. Looking down low for Goddard. Triolo manages to get it, pops out of his stick right to Crowley. Shockwave will move it up. They don't have numbers, so they wait for Neufeld out the back door. Just under 11 minutes to go here in the fourth. 14-9 in favor of St. Catharines, with a trip to the Final Four on the line. Wilds slinks his way out of it, cocks back the overhand, stopped by Szytkowski, and now it's Wilds and Mark DeBrone that exchange pleasantries, and DeBrone will head to the box. Mark DeBrone finds himself saddled with 2 minutes for the slash and a 4-on-3 for the Shockwave, with a chance to potentially put the nail in the coffin, although with over 10 minutes to go, still lots of time, lots of lacrosse to be played. Crease called on the play. 21 seconds left in the Shockwave penalty. 30 seconds left in the initial Outlaws penalty. And a minute 30 in their latest penalty. So taking on that double team and getting a shot off was Connor Laird, and he's more than a handful as Slade will move it up. Now Wild's going to sit on this as the Shockwave now with a two-man advantage, one-man advantage now for a minute 4. Almost didn't see the guy coming out of the bench. Patterson, right shooter, sizing up, slides down. They gap the box. Neufeld dumps it down low. Wiles try to go up, down, and over. They get a reset and a fresh 30. 45 seconds to go. Shot stopped by Shikowski. Oshawa on the run. Legging it. Tompkinson, quick shot. Shoulder saved by Crowley. Scooped up neatly by Becker, and he'll bring it up the other way. Josh Becker with 2 goals in this game will dump it off to Patterson. Patterson with 3. They all came in the opening quarter. Sidearm stopped, but rebound goes right back to Becker. Fresh 30. Under 5 seconds to go in the penalty. Shockwave will wait, work it out, make sure they have all their personnel in check, and go to work with 12 on the shot clock. Patterson looking for a screen, tried to duck in, took a good hard hit. Some solid defense from Charbonneau. But the Shockwave come back, and Charbonneau and Patterson, and a great goal, and they're calling crease on the play as Patterson and Charbonneau continue. .8:20 to go here. Shockwave leading 14-8. Teams even at 5 aside. Triolo dumps it back out. Gilray, St. John. St. John, top corner. So John St. John steps up with his second of the game. Want to remind you to stick around for our third game of our triple header quarterfinal action here in the Arena Lacrosse League, as it'll be the Peterborough Timbermen taking on the Paris River Wolves. And that hard shot from Triolo caught the crossbar and will stay here. Oshawa possession, trailing by 5 with 7:49 to go. So certainly not an impossible task, but they've got some work to do, and time isn't on their side. Defending champs trying to get back to the Final Four. That pass down into Goddard, broken up. Good job in transition by Pace. Pace already has a transition goal in this game. Thought better of it, no look pass. Dumps it off, one-on-one. It's Becker, flipped it to Van Every, but the flip was just too high, and Oshawa will come back with it. Outlaws need a goal and then a stop and then a goal. Swing it around, quick shot, kicked away. Good job by Crowley, and it's flipped ahead. In transition, moved up and tried to find the other side was Corey Becker, and his shot wide, and that'll take us to our officials' timeout. Back underway here, St. John. Again, that time right off the logo. And Crowley will get it and loft it up to Corey Becker. Puts on the brakes, and he'll wait for some assistance before shedding a defender out the back door. So the Shockwave have to be careful not to go into that keep-away mode. That always spells trouble for any team with a lead. Good hesitation move from Pedwell. Dumps it down low. That's broken up, and it's moved up. Gage Board, been quiet. Board shot, stopped. And that goes off Crowley and will stay here. Board hangs on to it, and he'll hustle off. St. John dumps it over one-on-one. Goddard still working, flips that across to Triolo. Triolo rolls in, diving in off the post. So that will go the length of the carpet. Shakowski will move up. And they'll move it up with 5:45 to go. Triolo working on the right side. Takes a couple of hits. Overhand off the pad of Crowley. Dancing around, but no way could Gilray avoid the crease. And again, we're going to have coincidental minors. So back to live action. Sometimes you just don't get the short end of the stick whether you like it or not. The boss has to remain the boss. So Shockwave now with 5:15 to go here and another fresh clock. Go back to work. Van Every in tight and just missed the net as Van Every was leaning in and made contact with Shakowski, and that's going to earn Van Every a couple of minutes. So Kyle Coulter getting a bit of a hard time from the fans. Everyone's a better ref than the ones that are on the carpet. We all know that. And the Outlaws will go back to work here with just under 5 to go. St. John. That overhand is stopped. Rebound parked by the big man, Triolo. And it couldn't have come at a better time, his third, and it's 14-10. So we're in money time now with a 4-goal game and Oshawa with possession. So the Shockwave still with plenty of work to do as there's still some fight left in these Outlaws. The defending champs not going quietly. Triolo working to Goddard. Goddard looking for an opening. Trying to get a screen from St. John. Goddard flips it over. Triolo with a man on. Big man goes to the bounce, goes off of Crowley, and will stay here. Fresh 30 for the Outlaws. Dump down low behind the net. Jump shot try, but looked like he caught the line upon takeoff. Colin Maudsley and Alec Tomas, they'll both sit down with coincidentals as both teams with 2 in the box, and we're playing 5 aside as that goes up off the rafters and will stay here. St. Catharines ball with 4:06 to go, and I think if you're one of the officials, you don't want to be the one to determine this game. You want the teams to do that. So if things get chippy, you take them both. Quick underhand from Patterson, didn't touch anything, so that's a violation. And the Outlaws scoop it up quick and work in the offensive end. Taking it hard and trying to dive through was McCrory. Caught the crease, and the Shockwave now will bring it back. Corey Becker will wait and find Neufeld. 3:35 to go here in the fourth quarter. Shockwave holding on to a 4-goal lead with a trip to the Final Four on the line. Quick shot from Pedwell, but right on the numbers, and there's Brandon Slade to scoop up that loose ball. Brandon Slade does a lot of the little things that go unnoticed by everyone except his coach. One-on-one, Becker. Josh this time to Van Every. On the curl, it's Neufeld. Tough angle, stopped. Tompkinson in there battling. Neufeld fishes it out, and it'll be a fresh clock. Under 3 minutes now here in the final quarter. Patterson will get it and head to his right side. Neufeld working way down on the left crease. Back out to the top in Slade. Shot clock down to 10. And that shot from Neufeld could not have felt very good at all, as it looks like it's Mark DeBrone. It is. That's the injured Outlaw, and he will need some attention. So 2:22 to go here in the fourth quarter, and the Outlaws got to hurry. St. John, one-on-one on the left side, swings it to Triolo. Dipsy Doodle, big overhand corner. Triolo stepping up again with his fourth of the game. So plenty of fight still left in that dog called the Outlaws, as off the draw they get possession. Slade in there working hard, steals it, goes in and picks the corner. Brandon Slade, when you need him, he's there. And it's 15-11. So in the blink of an eye, things can change after Triolo made things interesting, cutting the deficit to 3. Brandon Slade with a strip. Comes back and a good pirouette, but a turnover. And Oshawa now will bring it back. Tompkinson flipped to Triolo. Minute 35 to go here in the fourth. 4-goal deficit. Dropped off to St. John. He loses it. Numbers for the Shockwave. Dylan LaPrade. Wait for the trailer. Takes it. Slade slips it through the 5-hole. Brandon Slade with 2 straight. Third of the game. So stranger things have happened with a minute 20 to go. Certainly not impossible by any stretch, as DeBrone's shot goes wide. Whether or not you're going to be able to do it against a team like the Shockwave, that again will be another question, as the Outlaws, though, continue to battle. Into the final minute here in the fourth. Andrioli finds the cutter, goes off and out of play. And they're going to recheck that. Looked like it went off the top of the wood, which would put it out of play. So they're saying that the ball was tipped before it went out, and Oshawa has it, and a goal. So Goddard, with his second of the game, makes things interesting. It's 16-12. 53 seconds to go here in the fourth, and Shockwave with time on their side. Net empty at the other end, and that one's flipped and scooped up by LaPrade. LaPrade will split the D, lose it. Oshawa will bring it back. 35 seconds to go. Gotta hurry. Don't have much time. Down 4. Triolo. Gotta shoot it. Crowley steers that one out of bounds. 29.4 seconds to go. Triolo. St. John. Shot. Off the post. Reset. 20 seconds to go. Triolo moves in. Jump shot. No. Rebound to the Shockwave, and that's going to about spell the end for the defending champs, and there will be a new champion crowned in the Arena Lacrosse League, as the St Catharines Shockwave will earn themselves a ticket to next weekend's Final Four. And that will do it. So the buzzer sounds. The Shockwave 16, the defending champion Outlaws 12. They have been eliminated. So the Shockwave will head to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center for a semifinal matchup next weekend. We're back with Game 3 of our triple header. A good one